They're researchers, innovators, and entrepreneurs. As part of the EURAXESS Services Network and EURAXESS Worldwide webinar series, we are presenting to you today a topic focusing on intersectoral mobility. During this webinar, you will learn how can EURAXESS support you in the transition from one sector to another, be it academia, industry, or other. You will see the different services and online resources EURAXESS offers to help you in this transition. The presentation will be concluded by real examples of researchers who have succeeded in doing so. Our speaker and expert on the topic is Carmen Mendez de Castro. I would like to give her a very warm welcome. At present, hi Carmen. At present, Carmen, Senior International Mobility Advisor, is the head of B-Basque Dual Career Center of Biscaya Talent, as well as EURAXESS Service Center in the Basque Country, Spain, supporting researchers and other professionals' mobility, as well as their social integration. Apart from that, she is in charge of the area for institutional and external relations, which promotes cooperation agreements for the regional settling and repatriation of talent in industry and academia sectors. She is also an active collaborator in the research studies at local and European level, being developed by the R&D area of Biscaya Talent. Her main areas of interest include intercultural issues, international sociocultural integration, global talent, mobility, and labor market issues for researchers and qualified personnel. The title of her presentation today is EURAXESS Network as part of an innovative services portfolio to support researchers' intersectoral mobility. Carmen, now I would like to give you the floor.
Thank you, Vicky. Thank you for your nice introduction. And as you can see, today we are going to talk about the EURAXESS Network, but as a very important part for those researchers who want to move from academic world to the industry, or that they are interested in becoming entrepreneurs. The session structure will be, I'm going to introduce you a bit about the role that the EURAXESS Network has related to the intersectoral mobility. The second part will be those online resources that the network offers you. The third part will be those services very specifically for intersectoral mobility, what the EURAXESS Network, the members of that network is doing. And the fourth part will be Biscaya Talent as a EURAXESS member case, services offers to and from the ecosystem and to real cases. This is the case of a European researcher who was researching in a university and came from Japan to the Basque Country, and another one, some researchers from Chile to Europe. And finally, an internal reflection, what the main tips are in order to come. Okay, here we are. Related to the EURAXESS network, I have to say that Europe in general is research or investigation is always related to the academic world, but more and more it's very important that the research, the innovation and the research are very important for the companies, not only large companies, but also for SMEs and startups. The problem is that most of the members of this network come from the academic world, but it's a mandate to approach that intersectoral, those intersectoral issues in order to develop programs or programs or services in order to support those researchers who want to move to the industry. The truth is that, as I have told you, there are 90% of the old PhDs are not able to complete their professional career within the academic environment. This is true, this is a fact, and that's why we have to prepare those researchers interested in moving to the private sector what they can do, because at the beginning they don't know. I was a PhD student as well a long time ago, and I had those problems. I thought that I was going to stay in the university, and I saw later on that there were other exits. I have already mentioned that some EURAXESS members are more related to the academic world, but it is true that there are some, like ABG in France, there is the Association Bernard Gregory, and Vizcaya Talent itself in Spain, who are very aware of this problem. You can wonder what the EURAXESS network can offer you, because we have been talking about one of the problems of Europe, that most of the research and the innovation are in the academic world, but we have to change this. Do not forget those ones who are in different continents, like America in general, Latin America, North America, Asia, or even Australia. That there are huge, large companies in Europe. It is true, as I have already mentioned, that most of the companies are not large companies. You have to face what is going on in Europe, and that every member state has different laws and different situations, and sometimes the large companies are based on some specific cities, not even in a specific country. So be aware of the type of companies in Europe who are focusing on research, that they really need researchers, such as startups and SMEs. This is why EURAXESS Network is creating some resources to support intersectoral mobility. In general terms, we have a personalized assistant, and you can contact with any member state, with any member EURAXESS service contact, where imagine, for example, that you are interested in looking for personalized assistance because you are interested in going, for example, to Germany. So here you have all the countries, and for example, you tick on Germany, and you can say, okay, I'm a researcher, or I'm an entrepreneur, and I want to search to publish, well, to search funding opportunities. Okay. Apart from that, you have. We will talk about that later on. But if you are looking for information or contacts because you don't know how to get or to talk, because you have to start working on your own network, and you need information about what to do, the members of the network are key in order to support you and to provide the information that you are requiring. Another one that I would like to mention are there is careers beyond academia, what we call careers beyond academia, that it helps you to plan your transition from academy to to the industry or to become an entrepreneur. You will find some testimonies, and you also find a labor market as well. So you can have an idea about the options that you can have in Europe beyond academia. You are going to have information about the different sectors, the jobs that the companies or the SMEs are looking for in Europe, what competencies or what skills they are demanding, how to plan your career, and of course some testimonies. Okay, job offers. This is important as well because as we were commenting, it is true that you can see most of the posts, the job offers that the universities and research centers are publishing. But it is important to see, for example, okay, I'm an engineer and I would like to know what possibilities I have in Europe because I'm in India and I'm interested in that. So imagine, and I would like to work for a small, medium enterprise or startup. We will see, for example, a country, Germany, and we will see what happens. So you can see here, well, the application deadline, the research field, the location, the company institute, all the ones published in Germany by startups or SMEs, you can find them here. Another one is a partnering tool. The three first ones are more focused on researchers themselves, I mean, the employees. But I thought that it was very interesting even for those entrepreneurs who can be in Chile, or they can be in Mexico, or in Colombia, or in the United States, or in China, that perhaps they are interested in having some collaboration with some partners or with some companies or some research centers or technology centers in Europe. So this is important for them as well, because thanks to this, you can collaborate with some European institutions. Sometimes, perhaps, you are not interested in coming to Europe, but you are interested in coming. Oh, sorry. What's going on? But you have the opportunity to find members or find organizations, and they matches what you are asking for and what others are looking for. So you can see if you're interested in contacting with entrepreneurs, you have the possibility to find the members. Or sometimes both academy world and company or industry world want to match, and they want to join because it's necessary for the develop of a product or a medicine or whatever. So there are also some organizations, university and business, that you can find and become partners. The other one is the employer engagement toolkit. Normally is what I was mentioning before, that it's more aimed at institutions, this resource, but you can see everything you are interested in industrial PhD or in commercialization of research and development, or sharing information on job offers, I mean, anything interested in that, in career days, in alumni networks, because you are interested in industry mentoring programs, you have all the information here. So I think again that EURAXESS Network, the members of the EURAXESS Network, they are making lots of efforts in improving all those resources and programs to support all the researchers and bring them to the industry or to become entrepreneurs. Okay, this is the third part, the EURAXESS services for intersectoral mobility. These are more specific services for researchers coming from the European Union, and sorry about that, to develop or pilot specific actions. I would like to mention that, for example, apart from common services that we have, the EURAXESS members as well sometimes work together from different countries in order to improve those tools or services or resources or whatever. In this case, the area science park, they are from Italy with other member states and members of the EURAXESS network, like Hungary, Greece, Israel, and Spain. They were working on a manual on scientific entrepreneurship. I have put an example. Sorry, oops, sorry about that. I have written the example of the EURAXESS Italy because they were coordinating this, but the manual itself maintains a European perspective and that's quite general, but has also triggered the preparation of scientific entrepreneurship, a section in several national portals, as I have already mentioned, because sometimes a country or a member state of the European Union has different laws, as I have already mentioned before. For example, France has its own laws, or it has different strategies. They are different from Italy or from Spain or from Sweden. So it is important to see those strategies or those ideas from different member states. This is something very important to have in mind because sometimes the reality that I find when I receive a researcher or startup or a company, SME from another country who is coming to Europe, is that sometimes they think, okay, Europe is the same, or researchers from third countries that they are working or they are researching, for example, in Austria, they are coming to Spain and they think, oh, it's exactly the same. No, those are things that we are not, this is not the webinar to talk about all those services, but it is true that the members of the EURAXESS network, we advise the researchers or the companies about visas on all those administrative issues, as well as the social integration, labor integration, blah, blah, blah. But it is very important what I'm saying about the law and the legislation in the different countries, like and taxes and all those things. Another program that I would like to mention is the Rebecca mentoring program that it is already finished, but it was Rebecca Researchers Beyond Academia. That's the title of the mentoring program. Was organized by some some members of the EURAXESS networks. The coordinator was FECIT, that is in Spain, They have like a pilot program that they chose some mentors, some researchers who were already in industry or that they were entrepreneurs, and they voluntarily they were offering mentoring to those pre-docs and or researchers who wanted to move to industry, that they wanted to see other opportunities apart from the academia. So the experiences that led to a publication that you can see in the net on the website, and that toolkit intended to be it intends to be a guide for any institution interested in developing similar mentoring initiatives as part of their capacity building portfolio for researchers. And the toolkit covers all the key issues such as the design, how the recruitment of participants, the daily management of the pairs, blah blah blah. But it was very important, and this is important even for you as researchers in other countries like in America or in Asia or in Oceania, in Australia, because you can always get in touch with some researchers in Europe who have that experience. How you can do it? I mean, you can put in contact with some of us. We will give you, we'll provide you, or we'll put you in contact with some researchers. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about my case, Vizcaya Talent as a EURAXESS member case, because we are the non-profit associations, as I have already mentioned from the very beginning. We are a member of the EURAXESS Network from the very beginning. And we are we always try to approach academy and industry, and we try to have to listen. We are a kind of facilitator and listen to both sides. Okay, some of the things that we think they are very important is network, and that's why we organize conferences, international conferences, and even in Spain and outside Spain, even in Europe, in order to connect those researchers with universities, with industry, with startups, with companies, and try to match. Sometimes those Basque organizations are looking for some specific profiles who are all over Europe, and sometimes perhaps at the end they don't want to come back, but there is a connection, and they are they receive updating information, or sometimes even they collaborate. Another important issue as a EURAXESS member is that we have that map as well, or that partnering where sometimes the professionals or the researchers can put in contact with others if you are registered in the database, or and you can see all the job offers that our SMEs, biotechs, universities, research centers, technology centers are looking for. And of course, as well, we have career development centers. So for example, if there is someone from Uruguay who is interested in coming to the Basque region, so they contact us and they start telling us, okay, I'm from this sector, do I have some possibilities in the Basque region to develop my research career, especially in industry, or I would like to be an entrepreneur, what can I do? What are the advantages? Is there an environment? All those things. So now, and the most important thing is that I'm going to talk about two real cases that I have, that I was advising. This one is the case of Antonio. Antonio is a European researcher who was developing his academic career in Japan, in a university from Japan. And okay, he was happy in Japan, but he wanted to come back to Europe. And he had the possibility of starting researching in a private company, in a biotech in the Basque region. So he came to Spain and he started working in that company. The problem was that there was a crisis in 2010 and the biotech collapsed. I mean, it was closed, so he was unemployed and he didn't know what to do. So he called me because when he was in Japan and he was coming back, he put in contact with me in order to advise him and provide him with the key information that he needed to settle down in Bilbao. And apart from that, he was coming with his wife, and I was guiding her how to develop her career as well. So some years later, he called me saying, okay, it has happened to me and I have two options. One, going back to Japan, going back to the academic world, or, okay, I learned a lot. I have a colleague and we are a brilliant tandem, so an echo. So they decided to create their own business, their own startup. So okay, he didn't know how to start, and that's why he called me, because as I have mentioned before, networking and knowing what's going on in your environment is very important. And he was European, so imagine for some of you who are from China or from India or from Brazil, who are interested in becoming an entrepreneur in the scientific world, and you don't know how to start, you don't have contacts, you don't know anything. So it happened to him exactly the same. So he always said that it's very important to understand what's going on in the environment, in the ecosystem, and to knock at the different doors. So he was advised. I put him in contact with some people. His dream became successful, and here it is. He is, after some years, now he has become a mentor as well, and he advises other researchers who are in the academic world, or even pre-docs students who don't know what to do in a future time. The second case is that like 2 years ago, one of our colleagues, some of our members from Vizcaya Talent call us that they are in the local government. They are in charge of all the everything related to entrepreneurship, innovation, and they support all those startups or SMEs in order to establish in Bilbao and to develop the business. So this was the case of a laboratory from Chile, and that they had already a branch in Brazil, but they wanted to expand and they wanted to come to Europe. And they were visiting different cities, and at the end they decided to establish in Bilbao. So imagine from the very beginning that network, so people from the public administration, the industry, and us, we were supporting them in order with all the administrative issues, the fundings, the taxes, everything, and of course with all the visas, all the work permits, all the visas, and supported them. Okay, and what about my researchers? What about their families? So they came here. We supported them with all that. They have some tax advantages as well. So thanks to all that network in our ecosystem, they could establish in Bilbao. It was very well, I don't know if ironic, but everything was great. And suddenly there's 3 of the researchers from Chile who are running that laboratory in Bilbao. They came 3 days before the pandemic that started in Spain. So imagine, they have been for some months, well, confined, I mean, inside the house. So it was horrible. We used to talk to them. So they always say that it was great to have someone to talk to, because imagine their situation. That's why I chose this example. Okay, and this is the end, more or less. I could talk and talk and talk, but it's time. And finally, I would like to mention as an internal reflection, I mean, the next step, whoever doesn't matter if you are coming as a researcher or you are interested in coming as a researcher or as an entrepreneur. Think of how your transition will be from academy to industry, or from industry to become an entrepreneur, or whatever. I mean, you can see lots of options, and it is true that there are some, all of you have lots of skills and competencies that you can use for any sector. So the main tips that I could advise you are the following. If you are thinking of developing your career in Europe, stay in touch with EURAXESS members. Whoever, I mean, it doesn't matter. If you're interested in France, so contact France. If you're interested in Italy, in Greece, in Hungary, in Poland, or wherever. Know the environment. It is very important to know and to make the key questions to ask that EURAXESS contact, that what you want. It is important to have those questions in order to ask what you want to know. And again, because not all the member states are the same, not all member states have the same legislation, so it's not the same Poland or Czechia and Italy, for example. And know what's going on there. It's not a question, okay, this is EURAXESS members, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I want to go to a company. Okay, think of everything. If you are an entrepreneur, to see if there are fundings, if there are places where you can develop your idea, if there are accelerators, who the key persons are if there are tax advantages, whatever you are interested in. Community building, that's very important. Imagine that you have already arrived in Europe, wherever, the community building. That's what Antonio from Aloe Vetra, the first example, is always saying. It's very important to talk to everyone and to create a community. Again, for those ones who are very academic and they don't know how to approach industry or to become an entrepreneur, they are not enemies. I mean, they have to learn how to cooperate, academy versus industry. I mean, I wrote versus because what I want to highlight here is that if you are academic researchers, you are not supposed to use the same language, the same ideas. I mean, because the industry is different, they are demanding other things from you. So this is something that you are supposed to have clear. And again, if you go back to all those links that I have mentioned, you can check it out and see what competencies the European industry is demanding for all those researchers who want to develop their profession in industry. And a long-term vision, I mean, don't think that things has to be right now. I mean, take your time, prepare all those things, study, and you never know. I mean, it's like, again, the first case. I mean, he was in the academy world, then he went to industry, and suddenly life. That's why before saying pay attention to the current trends in Europe, the adaptability. It's very important to adapt to the ecosystem, to the language, to the social environment, what's going on. And of course, it's not the same being a researcher at university or in a research center or in a research technology center or in a large company or in a micro company. It's totally different. So that's very important, the adaptability. And what is happening right now, I mean, this is we are suffering a pandemic, and we have to adapt and pay attention to the current trends and news from Europe. I mean, it's not a question, okay, I want to go to Bilbao, let me know what you know, and that's easy. No, there's some previous work before. And thanks a lot. If you have any doubt, or you want to know a bit more, or you want to deep in some of the topics that I have already mentioned, you can always write to me, or you can contact me through LinkedIn or call me. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you very much, Carmen, for this very insightful presentation for researchers, innovators, and entrepreneurs as such. And I'm sure that they have learned a lot of information about how they can transition from one sector to another. Thank you very much again, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.